responded really well.
Due to contractual obligations, we must leave this program to bring you the following event. The heart of your teams. The heart of Atlanta. Valley Sports South and Valley Sports Southeast. The heart of the fan.
Home field advantage important in a big playoff series as we welcome you to Braves Live postseason from the Battery Atlanta. It's presented by Xfinity. For the first time in 30 years, the Braves have back-to-back walk-off wins in postseason play. The last time, 1991, when they went to the World Series and faced the Minnesota Twins. Eddie Rosario, one of the new guys, with a 4-hit night, including the game winner off Kenley Jansen, just out of reach of Corey Seager. And the Braves down 4-2 late, win 5-4 and lead this best-of-7 series over the Dodgers 2-0. Welcome to our Battery stage, everybody. What a night again in Atlanta. Chip Carey, Nick Green, Peter Moylan, Gordon Beckham. Guys, it's Yogi Berra time. Deja vu all over again. The Braves walk off and head to LA up 2-0.
I expected a split in this series, honestly, especially with Max Scherzer pitching today. Yeah, he didn't go deep in the ball game, but the Braves continued to battle, continued to grind. That's what this team's all about, to see 2 walk-off wins in back-to-back games, the first 2 games of this series. Absolutely unbelievable.
There is not a chance in this world that when we went down 4-2, that my mindset went straight to, it's okay, we've got this covered. They've got the best bullpen in the world, and we come back against that, and we end up with a 5-4 win. I'm shocked. I'm so happy right now. 2-0. Let's go to Waffle House. I'm in. We got people behind us.
I mean, what are we witnessing besides this guy dancing behind us? I mean, what we're witnessing is a team that refuses to give up, and they just never say die. No. I mean, they have this mentality that they've been building ever since July. They come out here, they're down 4-2. I think we're all thinking, okay, well, at least they split, right? You know, at least they could get a split. No, they come right back. They hit some freaking bullets, and they get back into the game. They win this game in the top.
The craziest thing for me right now is that when you look at these 2 games, it's not like the Braves have played great baseball and they've gone and won these games. The Dodgers are tired. They're not playing the normal style of game that they're playing. We have just been able, the bullpen's done a great job for us, holding us in these games, getting us back to these games. I'm still in absolute shock right now.
You walk 9 guys, you hit a batter, you trail 4-2 in the 8th against that bullpen. You have no business being in this game, much less winning it.
Right.
But that's exactly what happened for Atlanta tonight. The 8th inning was hugely important. How about the sins of Ron Washington?
Unreal.
Gutsy plays against the good arms in the Dodger outfield.
Yeah.
In a spot where the Braves were down 2, needed 1 run, they got the game tie because of aggressive base running by the Braves third base coach.
And sometimes we say, oh, why is he sending them? And they don't. It doesn't always work out. Well, today you see why it's important to be aggressive on the bases. Guys have to get good jumps. You have to look at the small things because plays are close at the plate in those situations. Yes, the Braves did a great job of putting up good at-bats late in the ball game, but again, small things happened in this game that paid off for the Braves. So to see them be aggressive late in the game, score 3 runs in the 8th and 9th inning was absolutely incredible. We talked about the 7th inning on yesterday, how good of a job they did last year, not so much this year. Well, today, a big 8th and 9th inning.
Well, let's talk about the 9th inning for Atlanta. You've got Brewster Gratterall coming, and the man throws 102 miles an hour, and the Braves got the game-winning rally started in the most unlikely of ways. Travis d'Arnaud, sore thumb and all, Peter, got it done.
Yeah, so we saw the same thing last night. There's a big difference when a runner comes on and when your pitcher window went on. The pitcher has to be so much quicker, and he loses a lot of his stuff. But right here, you see Rosario for his 4th hit of the night, and he scored the run when Wash sent him. That was massive because you go from having a 2-run deficit in the 9th inning to being 1 run down. That doesn't seem as hard, even against Kenley Jansen.
No, I mean, what you just saw is a great team, right? They didn't even have that great of a ninth. I mean, in a lot of ways. I mean, Dansby didn't get the bunt down to get him over, but it didn't matter. He was on the base. He can run a little bit. And it goes without, like, saying, Heredia hit the ball down the third baseline, and, yeah, he got jammed, but he got the runner over. He got Dansby to second base. He gave his team a chance. He put the ball in play. Yeah. And next thing you know, the hottest guy in the lineup hits an absolute bullet up the middle where a guy has been picking balls all night, was unable to pick it, and it wins the game for him.
This team lost their leadoff guy before the start of the series. Last guy. The fact that they've just looked that in the eye and decided to say, that's not going to stop us. We're up 2-0 against Los Angeles Dodgers. I know we were here last year. This feels different. This is a different team. There's no panic. There is just a team that sees the end, knows what they got to do to get there, and they're doing it right now. It is incredible to watch.
5 hits for Rosario out of the leadoff spot in this series for the Braves. And as you saw with those highlights, it truly was a game of inches.
Yeah.
Kenley Jansen almost speared that line drive. Seager almost came up with that line drive. And let's think about what happened in the 8th inning with Rosario. Risky tag play on a fly ball, moves up, close play at second. Wash sends him. He's safe on a bang-bang play at the plate to score the tying run. So Eddie Rosario was all over this game for Atlanta, not just at the plate, but gutsy and maybe, shall we say, instinctive and aggressive base running.
Well, remember yesterday, too, he led off the game with a base hit, stole a base, and scored the first run of the game. Here's an infield hit, a 2-strike count in the 3rd inning, just a base hit. Now he goes back up the middle.
Tough lefty, too.
When I see him going back up the middle against those lefties, keeping that front shoulder in, you feel like you're in a really, really good spot. 2 strikes on both of those at bats.
Look at that. Tough lefty curveball. Look at that.
That was absolutely disgusting right there, going the other way again. And then you set him up for the cutter in. I talked to you before this even happened with Kenley Jansen. That felt like that was a good matchup. Cutter in, back up the middle, sets right up.
We were both talking about. We said we'd rather face Jansen in this situation than we would Gratterall, because Gratterall throws 103 with sink.
Yeah.
At least Jansen generally throws that cutter, and it was a good matchup. You can tell Rosario feels hitterish.
That's the thing. He's still only 8 weeks back from injury, right?
You can just tell he's lined up. When he gets his foot down, you can tell how stacked he is in such a good position. I mean, it's just obvious that he's going to hit balls hard when he gets to that position. Really special. Snit found his leadoff hitter for the rest of the playoffs.
And he got his gift.
If anybody recognizes hitting, it's me.
Yes.
And I know that he is definitely hitterish right now. You see him, he's not bailing out. And I'm being serious. I don't know hitting that much, but I'm being a little bit serious.
Tell us about it.
He's not taking those bailout swings that he was doing earlier. He's staying on breaking balls, and that was a tough pitch by Jansen. He stayed it up, stayed through the ball, drove the handle through, up the middle. I'm pumped right now. I've said that enough, haven't I?
Careful, he's about to Wally Pip you.
I know, right?
Wait for my demos. They're going to be amazing.
You broke it down great. Bottom line, Braves beat the Dodgers. A perfect birthday gift for the Braves manager, Brian Snitker. You know he was thrilled to see Ozzie Albies doing his thing, and we're thrilled to have Ozzie standing by with Kelly Crow. Kelly?
Here we are again in the 9th inning. This team's tied going into the bottom half. And Eddie Rosario steps up to the plate with Swanson on second. And this place just erupts.
Yes.
What did you think of that at-bat?
This place was rocking for us tonight. I love it. And he stepped in the box and said, you always tell me, hey, I like hitting cutters. So I said, okay, he's a cutter thrower, so it's going to be a good chance he's going to walk us off here. And he did.
So are you taking partial credit for that, Ozzie?
Of course, right away.
Well, hey, you're never in that position without what you guys did there in the 8th inning. What is going through your mind as you're standing there on first, trucking around, looking at Wash, wave you on home?
Just an awesome moment. As soon as that ball dropped, I was gassing up to get to home plate. I saw Wash waving me on. I was like, I gotta score. So I did everything I could to score that run.
And now you're up 2-0 against the Dodgers headed to Los Angeles. Describe what that means for this series.
I mean, that's huge for us. Huge for us because it gets electric out there, and we just gotta go out there and play our game. Play our game with no doubts. Just play hard like always.
Take this in one more time, okay?
Thank you. I appreciate
Tell people at home what it's like if they can't be here.
It feels amazing. I wish you were here.
Ozzie, thank you and congratulations, guys.
Ozzie Albies scored the game-tying run for the Braves. That made it 4-4 in the 8th. And Gordon, that guy just somehow finds a way to make everything exciting offensively and defensively.
Yeah, Braves fans that watch him all the time, he's a dead pull hitter from the right side, right? And what does he do? He's a veteran player. He's a dead pull hitter, remember? Oh, I'm going to go get sawed off and go the other way. I'm going to be unselfish because we have got to get a run. We've got to scratch a run here. I'm not going to try to go big fly and do something special. I'm going to make sure we're in this game come the 9th inning. He goes the other way. He bloops one in. It wasn't sexy, but at the end of the day, he did what he had to do. It was a pro at bat, and for him to be able to get that RBI, it paved the way for that 9th inning to happen.
So let's break down the Ozzie Albies at bat, because it was Albies and Austin Riley that brought home the runs in the 8th inning for Atlanta. And here's an example, Gordon, of what you were talking about with Ozzie at the plate.
Yeah, Ozzie does a great job right here, getting like, oh, there, here, we're going to see it right here. Sorry about that. Awesome job. Look, it's a slider down and in, okay? Conventional wisdom says you should pull this ball. No, he goes, I'm going to bloop this the other way. It was soft enough to score. And then, I mean, right here, an absolute bullet. I mean, I wish he had gotten under this ball just a touch, because it would have gone about 450 feet.
Why? I like the way it ended.
Yeah, well, it's fine. Either way, Ozzie does a bulldoze right into home plate, knocks Will Smith's glove off, you know, makes him feel that. But, I mean, the legend of Austin Riley's growing. I mean, what we're seeing is we're seeing like a star, like budding. We really are. I mean, what he's doing is it's incredible.
I don't want to keep harping on this, but I think this is a really big deal, because I've been in this team and I've seen this team struggle the last couple of years. There is a different feeling here right now, and there is a different feeling since we were 1st and 3rd with none out against Milwaukee in that first game and we didn't score. Normally that would have been the end of the Braves. I honestly think that would have ruined that series for us. We would have got our heads down. We would have lost that series. This is a different Braves team. They win the next 3, and they've won the first 2 against the Dodgers. I said before the game, it's not always the best team that wins. It's the hottest team. Find me a hotter team than the Braves right now.
I love the way they're playing winning baseball, even though, yeah, it's not been pretty, right? They had 9 walks today. Usually when you walk 9 guys, you don't win ball games. But at the same time, they're doing things that help themselves win. When you look at Ozzie Albies, go back to his at-bat against Urias. Well, yeah, he did a nice job of staying inside, going the other way. He punched out right-handed his best side against Vesia earlier in the ball game, got blown away by fastballs. Curveball there, stays up the middle the other way, and that tells me that Ozzie is putting the work in to be in the right spot at the right time. Then Austin Riley yesterday comes up with a walk-off hit on a slider. Today, a huge hit on a fastball up in the zone. So these guys are covering everything at the right times.
3rd RBI for Riley, and by the way, the MVP vote has not been made yet. So games like this, I would sure, Gordon, are going to help his candidacy in a big way.
Oh, absolutely. Riley's been doing some really special things, and you're about to see the play at the plate right here. But one of the things I wanted to bring up, how about the mind games? How about the mind games for Dave Roberts right now? He's probably thinking, how in the world did we lose that game? Yeah. He is thinking that. There's no doubt about it.
One reason why, Dodgers 2 for 18 with runners in scoring position in the first 2 games of this series, and now they're staring down the barrel of Charlie Morton facing him in Game 3 in L.A. The Braves get 3 runs off Gratterall and Kenley Jansen and Urias in the 8th and 9th innings to win Game 2. Braves Live brought to you by Landmark Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram. By Xfinity XFi. Experience a powerful and secure Wi-Fi connection for all your devices. And by Georgia Natural Gas. Go green and save some, too, with GNG. The Braves stunned the Dodgers, but not the home fans. They believe in this ball club. Why wouldn't they? Atlanta wins Game 2 to take a 2-0 series lead. Out-hit L.A. 10-4. And will take a 2-0 series lead into Game 3 out of Dodger Stadium beginning Tuesday night. The Braves had to use a lot of pitchers in this game, Nick. They had to use 8 of them. Ian Anderson started. He had been brilliant in postseason play, but struggled as he has so often in the first inning, and that, I think, told the tale for him with 28 first-inning tosses tonight.
He just didn't look good from the start of this game, and I was hoping he was going to be better out of the start. Well, the fastball wasn't there. 14 fastballs, only 5 strikes in the first inning. And I think that's what Snit saw early on. Yeah, he grinded through the next 2 innings. It made it work for 3, but nothing ever came together. He had a good changeup at times. The curveball was rolling in there. not the Ian Anderson we expected to see today, Peter.
And there was also some frustration here. We just see Snit obviously going over there to tell him that he's going to take him out. He's a competitor, so he's not going to want to come out of that game. But at the same time, that move proved to be the right move. We had to carry 6 innings from the bullpen. Fine. We wouldn't have done that 2 months ago. There's no way. But he's got the confidence in everyone in that bullpen. The playoff bullpen is a group there's not one guy. Webb was in there today. Chavez was in there. It's not the usual characters. We used everybody in that bullpen the last 2 days, and they've all been effective. That's the thing that I hold the dearest and nearest to my heart, is because Snit now has the faith to use those guys for the rest of the series.
But let me ask you guys, because the innings weren't exactly clean by the Braves bullpen.
At all.
Walking 9, hitting 1
Yep.
is a real dangerous way to try to win a Major League playoff game.
Yes.
Wouldn't you agree with that? So isn't that something the Braves have to clean up if they want to polish off
Without
LA?
question, yeah. I said to you when we were up there that you can't give the Dodgers team free base runners, but we've gotten away with it the last 2 nights. We punched out 14 times last night. We struggled again tonight, but we somehow managed to get it done. And Jesse Chavez comes in and throws 6 pitches to get through an inning. Ian Anderson had labored through 3. To see him come in and do that. Minter did the same thing. Minter hadn't pitched in 5 or 6 days. He was a little bit rough. Now he's got that inning in. We get an off day tomorrow. Webb, same thing. Missed with a couple of change-ups. Went 6 straight change-ups to Pollock to get him to punch out right there. You don't see that in regular season baseball. Playoffs are different. The moves are different. Don't expect regular stuff.
And quite frankly, at the end of the game, the results have been different. Will Smith has rediscovered the magic.
Yeah.
If you look back at what happened in the series with the Milwaukee Brewers, as you see the rest of the Braves relievers who worked tonight, Luke Jackson, an unfortunate hit batsman, helped set up the inning for Los Angeles. And then this blooper into center, Heredia. A lot of folks thought he could have dived and made that play, but he just checked in defensively. That cost the Braves 2 runs and the lead. It was 4-2 at that point in favor of LA. But then Jackson gets strike 3, ends the inning. Chris Martin had a 1-2-3/8 inning. And then the Braves turned the keys over, Gordon, to Will Smith, who saved all 3 Braves wins against the Brewers and blew the Dodgers away with a 1-2-3/9. His last pitch, a fastball to end the inning.
Yeah, he looks really good. I think what he's doing, too, is he's making right-handed hitters uncomfortable in, right? His bread and butter is a slider down and into a right-handed hitter. And when he's making guys uncomfortable in, throwing fastballs over the middle of the plate, 93, 94, making them think about, be conscious of that inside part of the corner, it basically opens up that slider down and into a righty. And so when you have that uncomfortableness in the box, right, crazy things happen. You make decisions, bad decisions, and he's just throwing the right pitches at the right time, and he's being aggressive. He's going right at guys.
Yeah,
3 saves and 2 wins in the first 2 series, Peter.
And people have been calling for his head for months now, but when you break it down and when you look at it, in the clutch, he's been as good as anyone. There was an article that came out that described how good he's been in those big games. Why would you take the ball away from him? I talk often about the fact that it's not always the closer that has the hardest 3 outs. Sometimes you got to deploy your closers or your other closers in more important innings, like your Matzik or your Jackson. Having the use of those 2 guys and a Will Smith at the back end allows us so many options for innings 7, 8, and 9. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And you know what? Another reason that Snit could do what he did today is the fact they have an off day, right?
Yeah.
He said, okay, Anderson doesn't have his stuff. We've got an off day. We've got a rested bullpen. We're going with them. We trust them, and they're going to do the job tonight. He had trust in them. They delivered.
And what does that do, Nick? A hot closer, a hot bullpen at the end of the game do for the Braves offense?
You feel good about it. And when you're the offense, you know you have guys at the back of the bullpen that can lock it down, which Will Smith is doing right now. Yesterday, not quite as clean. They had a nice play to get Chris Taylor out on the bases. But you know what? If you're getting it done, you're getting it done. And again, I said this yesterday. I like the stuff of Will Smith recently. I love the stuff today. Today was a huge situation. He's not faltering. He's going right at guys. Even if he doesn't have his best stuff, he's still getting the outs and getting the job done. So as an offense, you feel good getting yourself in position, even though you're looking at a tie ball game today when he came in the game. If you're ahead by 1 run, you feel good now. It was, you have to be ahead by 2 or 3 because you felt like he was going to give up at least 1 run. Not right now. I feel confident in 1-run games with Will Smith.
And the mindset, correct me if I'm wrong, as a hitter, to know that your bullpen's going to lock down if it's a 1-run deficit, a 2-run deficit, it's not going to become a 5-run deficit because those guys are going to allow you innings to be able to claw back.
Or you don't have to try to win the game 2 or 3 times in the late innings. innings, and Will Smith went right through the 3, 4, 5 hitters for L.A. to pick up the win for Atlanta in Game 2 of the series. Nick, you talked about somebody being on. I think that's the case for Austin Riley, who has 3 RBIs in the first 2 games of this series, and he too is standing by with Kelly.
Thanks a lot, guys. Here with Austin Riley, and once again, I was just talking to Ozzy. Is there something about taking it into the bottom of the 9th tied that you guys just like this whole walk-off thing? New hero tonight in Eddie Rosario. What did you think of that at bat in that moment?
That was huge for him. He put it together at great at bats all night, and I feel like that was the guy that needed to be there tonight. And sure enough, I felt like he wasn't trying to do too much. Like I said, he's one of those guys who's trying to find a barrel. That's what he did, and I'm super pumped for him.
And he's not the only one, once again, that came through in a big moment. You did the same thing there in the 8th. What were you thinking when you stepped up to the plate there? What are you trying to do?
Those first couple of bats, I felt a little long, so I went down the cage, got a little work done, tried to shorten things up, and I was just looking for a fastball. I kind of had a feeling they were going to try to elevate right there, and was able to put a good swing on it.
Did you think you had it?
No. It's too much of a line drive. So I just, like I said, this is unbelievable. I can't say enough about this crowd. Wow.
But what you do have is a 2-0 lead in this series, Austin.
That's huge. That's absolutely huge. Like I said, going into Dodger Stadium, it's a tough atmosphere. It's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Can't wait. Thank you again for your time. Congratulations. Guys.
Home run, 3 RBIs for Austin Riley in the first 2 games of this series against the Dodgers, and Braves postseason tickets are on sale for the rest of this NLCS, and dare we to dream about the World Series. Get your Braves tickets at braves.com/postseason. Jocktober has returned to Atlanta. A huge 2-run homer for the Braves outfielder. Yes, the magic of the Pearls continued. A long home run off Max Scherzer tied the game for Atlanta early. Braves go on to win it 5-4, and we'll continue our recap on Braves Live postseason from Atlanta after the break. Braves Live is brought to you by your local Ford dealer, by Cook's Pest Control. You don't have to live with pests. And by Visit Mississippi. Wanderers are welcome. Braves were down 2-0. They were down 4-2. They win Game 2 5-4 and take a commanding 2-0 series lead over the Dodgers. Just what the birthday boy Brian Sittker was hoping for. Atlanta goes to L.A. with a commanding lead in this best-of-7 series, and Brian Snitker's meeting the media right now.
When you look back on this game, I don't think you probably just thought Ian would go 3 innings. You weren't thinking it was going to be a bullpen game. So to see what your pitching staff did, what does that tell you? Not only from tonight's game, but the first 2 games of this series.
No, you're right. I mean, I had no intention of Ian going 3 innings, and those guys stepped up and did a great job. Great job. I mean, which they have been doing, and hats off to them. They gave us a chance to win this game.
Isn't it not just the winning hit for Rosario, but the slide he had, what he did in Game 1, too, that first sequence? What about just all the way he's impacted this?
No, he's done a great job. I mean, that was a great slide, like you said, and got big hits. I mean, it's all of them. Him, Jock, Austin. I mean, that's what it takes to win these games, and I mean they're hard games to win. And but he had a really nice evening.
Dave? Rosario got a late start compared to the other guys that you picked up in July because he was hurt, but he's had quite a few of these clutch hits. It seems like big hits.
No, he does. You know what, when we got him, I mean, just we guys had talked to guys from Minnesota, and that's the one thing they said about him, that you want him up there in big situations. And he fits right in here. He's an aggressive hitter, but that's what said, that he likes to be up there in that situation, and he's shown it.
Heredia in center field, did you think he thought he was going to catch that ball?
I didn't think anything. I don't know.
Next question. Jason, on the right. Snit, last night you won a game where you struck out 14 times. Tonight you won a game where you walked 9. Could you describe what it's been like to walk that tightrope these last 2 months?
Yeah, no, good God. Yeah, I don't know. We got enough time. I don't have any hair. Yeah, you know, and you know what? I'll be honest with you. I didn't realize we'd struck out I don't know. I guess I get so focused on everything that I didn't realize we struck out 14 times. I didn't even realize we'd walked that many guys tonight, quite honestly. You know, because I'm just kind of staying hitter to hitter in the innings and not really processing all that till after the fact. But obviously we did a great job of limiting damage against a really good club. And you know, that's not a really good recipe for success against a team like this when you're letting that many guys get on base, because these guys are so dangerous. Just, you know, credit to the guys. They just kept pitching. I mean, especially out of the bullpen. We used a lot of guys tonight. You know, didn't intend it to be like that, but, you know, you just kind of probably the last thing going into it that we planned for. And but you have to adjust on the fly. And the guys stepped up, you know, especially out of the bullpen, did a great job.
Next question, Mark.
Snit, how much did you have to audible? I mean, is there any point this afternoon you say, what if Anderson leaves now?
Yeah, you know what? I'll be honest with you. We didn't even talk about that. You know, we talked about the 5th or 6th inning type thing because figuring Ian would get there. It just wasn't his day. I mean, it just wasn't coming out good. The location wasn't good. And it happens. That's what I told him. You know what? This happens. You know, it doesn't matter that it's postseason. It's a baseball game. And you've been pitching a long time and over the course of the year, and things like that happen. And he'll be fine coming into the next one. But we just had to start audibling, you know, and looking kind of fast-forwarding matchup type scenarios that we had talked about prior to the game. It just kind of everything got pushed up about 3 innings, quite honestly. And the guys did a great job of handing the ball off to each other.
Can we stay here in the middle?
Yes, and that's what I was going to ask you, is just kind of what was your message to Ian? I mean, you just kind of explained it.
No, I told him. I said, you know what? It's just, and I told him, I said, just looking at this and all, it just doesn't feel like it's going to get any better. And you know what? The biggest thing I told him is it's okay. That happens. That's not a big deal. You know, we'll tee it up again in, you know, 4 or 5 days. But because, you know, I know it's postseason, but it's still, it's these guys are on rotate, you know, on their turn and all that, and it's still a baseball game, and not everything's perfect about that. So, you know, he'll regroup and come out and make his next start and be good.
Okay, go way back on the left.
Snit, to go off what Jason was asking you about, I mean, what can you say about your guys being able to ride the wave of emotions like they have these last couple of games and fall behind but still find a way?
No, I mean, these guys have always been like that. I mean, they're never out. I mean, I think that's what keeps people coming back here, you know, because this is a team that you better not leave early. It's not, you know, leaving the fourth quarter when the team's down, because these guys, you know what, you'll end up missing the best part of the game on you and listen to it on your radio when you're driving home, because these guys never quit. They never have. They haven't for years here. And if they got an out left or a strike left, as we've seen, they might make something happen. So these guys just keep playing the game. They play a hard 27.
Okay, go far back in the middle, Tyler.
Snit, obviously this is the 4th playoff run for you with these guys in a row, and it's going well. How is this run feel different, or how is this group any different?
You know, I don't know. I think they all feel special. I mean, you're all excited about getting here. I don't know that you can really look at any. I mean, in 18 it felt great, 19 it felt great, last year it felt great. Right now it feels great. I mean, I don't know that any of them feel any better, you know, when you're going through it. I mean, that may be something that down the road a few years or whatever. But I mean, it's just, I think, especially in this game, you live in the moment, and it's really good what these guys are doing right now.
We're going to go to Dave.
I think that last answer from Brian Snitker encapsulates why he's been so successful as the Braves manager. Don't look behind because you can't change that. Don't look ahead because you can't do anything about it. Worry about each pitch, each inning, each game as it comes. And as he said, they don't always win, but they always give you a finish.
I love it. And when you have a manager that treats you like that, that understands, this game is very hard. You're going to have off days. Freddie Freeman obviously off the first 2 games of this series. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about the strikeouts yesterday. Don't worry about the walks today. Worry about what's going on in this particular moment. And Snit does a great job of that. And that translates to the players as well. Nobody is panicking in this situation. They understand it's a big game, big series, but guys are doing their parts individually to get the job done, and they're picking each other up. And if you have a manager, unlike Snit, that's worried about yesterday, the day before, worried about tomorrow, over managing a little bit, then it trickles down to the players. You don't get the same results that Brian Snitker is getting out of these players right now in this series.
I talk a lot about playoff experience and the experience that these guys have learned over the last couple of years, but it's not just the players, it's the managers as well, it's the coaches. They're getting to do this for the second, third, fourth time. They're learning their way through these games. They're making moves that they may not have made traditionally 2 series ago, but they're leaving guys in longer. They're bringing guys in. The Ian Anderson move today, that would not have been made 3 years ago. I firmly believe Ian Anderson would have had to fight through whatever he had that tonight, and we would have just left the bullpen do what they did. That's the traditional way of playing that game. Pulling him out in the 3rd inning was a massive, massive move by Snit, and it potentially saved this series.
The thing that stands out to me is the only time it matters if you strike out 14 times or if you walk 9 guys is if they hurt you on it. Yeah. And the Dodgers have not hurt them on it yet.
Great point.
So, I mean, Snit's thinking, what he's saying is like, I don't care about that because it didn't lose us the game, right? So he's just managing the game as it goes. They're treading on like thin ice a little bit, and they've gotten 2 games here that they probably shouldn't have. But that's great because they haven't even played their best baseball, and I think that that's a real positive because they've got this momentum. They know they can compete now, even in close games,
even when they're not at their best.
Even when they're not at their best, even when they don't have their best hitter in Freddie Freeman feeling good at the plate. I mean, and so when they're doing that, that's the sign of a great team. It's a sign of a team that can go in and win a World Series because what they're doing is unconventional, but it doesn't matter. Like if the Dodgers aren't going to take advantage of it, the Braves will keep taking these wins.
And they need to stop doing what they're doing.
Exactly.
Though. I don't want to see any more like this, but
your beard's
it's been a whole lot of fun.
Getting a little
I'll
gray.
be really gray.
Deep lineup, deep bullpen, great starting pitching. It's a real recipe for a long run in these playoffs, and I keep saying that it feels different, but there is not that same worry in these guys' faces. We saw it during BP today. We were down on the field today. We're talking to the guys. Ozzy's relaxed. Riley's relaxed. Wash has got the guys laughing. It was a fun atmosphere to be involved with, and seeing them so relaxed before the game, I was in a great place.
Yeah, it was fun to watch.
Yeah.
Well, the Braves have a commanding lead. They are going to force the Dodgers, if they want to come back in the series, to win 4 of the next 5 games. And oh, by the way, the Braves have Charlie Morton and Max Fried in the holster for that 3-game series out in Los Angeles. Eddie Rosario had a night for the ages as the Braves win Game 2. Braves Live is brought to you by Toyota. Visit your local Toyota dealers today. Toyota, let's go places. And by Truist, BB&T and SunTrust are now Truist. What a Sunday night at Truist Park in Atlanta. Braves beat the Dodgers 5-4. The Big Boppers, Jock Peterson and Austin Riley, had big RBI nights as the Braves take a 2-game-to-none series lead, and they too are meeting with the media here in Atlanta.
Jock, do you see something different about this team for the last 3 years, 4 years? They've always said something about, never quit with Snit and that kind of stuff, how many late inning comebacks they've had. Have you noticed something different about this team?
I think they've always been a really strong team, and I think that when we're all pulling on the same string, special things happen, and you can see that we're doing that right now. There's no one person that has the pressure on their shoulders that they have to get the job done. It's a new person every day, and that's what makes it special.
Next question. Dave in the middle.
Jock, they said you've got that clutch gene, Jocktober. Have you seen a couple of guys on this team that maybe are showing the same signs, Eddie Rosario, and especially the guy on your right?
Yeah, definitely. It's fun to watch, and yeah, they got some stones, so they're coming up in big spots, and that's what it takes to win ball games. Obviously, you've seen people on the other side also are pretty clutch and are putting a lot of pressure on us, but we get knocked down a few times, but we're able to grind back, get a guy on, get him over, and then come up with a big hit. So it's pretty special.
Austin, you guys were up 2-0 on these guys last year. Besides the setting, what's different this time?
I think just the momentum that we've built. Like I said, we were up on them 2-0 last year, so it's like one of those things where you can't stop now. You got to continue to apply the pressure and come out every day and get after it. So I'm looking forward to the series or the next 3 games.
On the left here, Anthony.
Jock, you had that one just foul in your first at bat. What were you seeing off Scherzer that allowed you to connect really twice well?
Just looking for a pitch over the plate. They have really good pitching and don't make too many mistakes. So just trying to capitalize on the opportunities that are presented.
Okay, far back, Tyler.
Austin, you just mentioned how being up 2-0 last year and you can't stop now. Is that something that you guys talk about amongst yourselves, or is it just something that's sort of unspoken that you all remember and know about?
I think it's one of those things where it's in the back of your mind. They're a really good ball club. They're never out of it until the last say. So I mean it's just one of those things where we got to go there, play our ball game, that we're capable of playing, and see how things go. Like I said, I like where we're at right now. So it should be a good matchup.
Way back on the left.
Jock, social media went a buzz of the dugout shot of you after the 2-run homer. I mean, is that just who you are, or is it just caught up in the excitement of the moment?
I guess caught up in the excitement of the moment. I don't really know or have been on social media to recall what you're saying, but it was pretty exciting and tied up the game and got the boys back in it. So just doing everything I can to help the team win.
Okay, in the middle, JP.
Yeah, Jock, being on the other side of this series this year, does the fact that you're doing this against your former teammates fuel you, or does at some level do you have to turnn it off to calm down and just be in the moment?
Not really. I think that this is a lot bigger than me. This is 25 of us pulling and have one common goal. And obviously I've been a part of the Dodgers for a long time, and they're a really good team and organization. But right now they're in the way of our common goal. So we kind of have to do whatever we can to win ball games. And, yeah.
12 October home runs for Jock Peterson, including a 2-run shot in the 4th inning for Atlanta. Our Toyota Let's Go Places video, guys. It began with a walk, as it so often does in playoff baseball. A walk is a rally, and it was for Atlanta, down 2-0.
It was huge, and Austin Riley, 5-pitch walk for him was big. Scherzer was all over the place in that at-bat. Then he gets Jock Peterson, who we know is all cool, calm, and collective. 1-0 counts. Drops a curveball in his fifth best pitch. Yeah. Fifth best pitch, and Jock goes 450-plus feet.
Listen.
It's unbelievable, Peter. Yeah, the power's there, but he puts together good at-bats in these big moments. Yeah. And today, he wouldn't have been starting if Soler was still here. So a huge moment for Jock Peterson.
I mean, I've bought in on Jocktober now, but I just thought it was a word or a hashtag. I didn't realize that it was actually a thing that we are having to witness right now. It is real, and I am here for it. But the quality of bats that he's putting together, it's not like, same with Rosario, okay? Rosario occasionally would fly open and have that lazy swing. You saw that from Jock as well 2 weeks ago. You haven't seen that from him in the last 5-6 at-bats, so yeah. Fired up, as you can tell.
Hey, the Pearls play, baby. The Pearls just play.
They're a hashtag. You know what else is a hashtag? Peter's coat.
Yeah. God. Peter's P coat.
Vegemite green.
By the order of the Peaky Blinders.
Exactly. We continue with Braves Live postseason. We will join you after the game on Tuesday night. It'll be Game 3 from Los Angeles. Catch us on Valley Sports and, of course, live on the Valley Sports app. Braves 5, Dodgers 4. It's a 2-0 Atlanta lead. Braves beat the Dodgers in Game 2. They head to Los Angeles on Monday, and you are invited for a Braves send-off party here at the Battery at Truist Park at the first base gates. That's where the Braves players, staff, and coaches and families will be getting on the buses, heading to the airport, and moving on to Los Angeles for Game 3 on Tuesday evening. Monday at 11 is when the guys will start making their way out of the clubhouse. A chance to send them off, wish them well, as Atlanta will try to extend this series lead to 3-0. If you're just joining, yours truly, Chip Carey, Nick Green, Peter Moylan, Gordon Beckham. What a night in Atlanta. Let's get you to the highlights of Game 2. Critical game. Braves sending Ian Anderson to the mound against future Hall of Famer Max Scherzer. Braves with a 1-0 series lead, and they brought out the big guns. Dale Murphy with the Austin Riley jersey, the pearls and all.
You knew Eddie was going to catch that ball too, by the way.
Things started, but unfortunately, things started rough for Ian tonight.
It really did. Mookie Betts has been really good against the Braves in the postseason. Does it again today. A little bloop into left field. Nice effort by Dansby, but that got them a runner to start the game off. And then Corey Seager. This dude is legit. Anderson tries to flip a curveball in first pitch. Not a good curveball. And Corey Seager goes deep, by the way. That's 6 career postseason home runs against the Braves.
And a ton of first pitch swings and a ton of first pitch hits for Corey Seager, Peter. Braves got to figure out something to neutralize that.
I think we just don't pitch him at this point. We move on to the bottom of the 4th. Game still tied at 2. Jock the man Peterson takes that curveball. How many feet, Nick?
454.
That's why you're my numbers guy, Nick. That's why you're my numbers guy. 450-foot blast into the chop house. Game tied at 2, Gordo.
Yeah, and then take it to the top of the 7th after Jock hits this for the 50th time, way over the fence. I mean, just an absolute bomb right here.
Did you get a glimpse of the pearls?
He didn't miss it. I don't know what that feels like to hit it that far, but the pearls play.
I'll let you know. We'll have a chat later.
Okay, yeah, I'll let you know.
Thank
All
you.
right, but you get to the top of the 7th inning right here. Got the bases loaded. We got Chris Taylor at the plate. He's been really good this playoff. He's been really, really scrappy, and he puts up another really good at-bat against Luke Jackson. Luke's trying to get it out, get Matzik out of this.
Makes his pitch.
Not a bad pitch. And you know what? Some people thought that Heredia could have possibly dove for that ball and caught it. One thing that you might not have known, he came in the play before, right? So he was cold into that game.
So to the 8th inning we go. Braves are down a couple of runs. You got Urias, the only 20-game winner in the National League. Things looking bleak, but Nick, the Braves make magic.
You know, I thought this was interesting because, they asked a lot about this bullpen. Well, he's supposed to start Game 4, and he doesn't. He comes in the ball game here. Nice slide by Eddie Rosario. Good effort by Ozzie Albies to get jammed a little bit, and this ball was torched, ladies and gentlemen. I love this swing. 107 off the bat. RBI. Scores Ozzie from first base. Another aggressive send by Ron Washington. Thank goodness nobody got hurt on this play and the play before, but these guys are pumped up. Tied the game at 4.
You think Austin Riley's MVP?
Yes.
We go to the bottom of the 9th. Kenley Jansen, their closer, comes in. Had a bit of trouble to start the year, but he's been pretty money of late, and he's their closer. So you bring him in to face Rosario. Rosario wastes no time, gets a cutter, middle, off Seager's glove, who had just picked the ball to save the game a couple of plays before. Dansby comes in to score. Skew the champagne. Not yet, but let's get on a happy fight at least.
Hey, Gratterall was nasty too. I thought Gratterall was going to stay in that ball game. You go back though, Chip, and you look back in August when the Braves played LA, Rosario took Gratterall deep. So I think that played a little bit too, and the base hit off Jansen was huge.
Over-managing, Nick.
Exactly.
Well, it worked out for Atlanta. They out-hit the Dodgers 10-4. As you see our Academy Sports and Outdoors game summary. Will Smith, 2-0 in this series, saved 3 games against the Brewers. He's off to a terrific postseason run. And boy, the Dodgers just 2 for 18 with runners in scoring position. I'll say this for the Braves. They've made it interesting in relief, but give those guys credit. They've done a great job of limiting the damage, and they end up with another 1-run win tonight and a 2-0 lead.
And again, I'd like to see the Braves clean things up, and I think they will clean things up, but I love what they've been doing. It's all about winning. It doesn't matter how you get to that point. Right now, you're up 2-0. Don't let up. Start to clean things up a little bit, cut down on the walks, cut down the strikeouts, and everything's going to be fine. You've got your guy going in Game 3.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
I love it. If they could get up 3-0, I love where they would be.
I think there is a level of excitement that's building, not just amongst us, obviously, but amongst Braves fans. You can sense it when we walk around the ballpark. I actually had to go back into the ballpark in the ninth inning just to see what the mood was like. It's pumping in this place. It's going to be pumping for a long time.
And you can't expect the Dodgers to continue on the trend. They're too good, right? They're 2 for 18. You can't expect them to continue on this trend. So the Braves need to tighten it up just a little bit, do things that just a little bit better. They found a way to win these 2 games that maybe they shouldn't have won. They've got out in the head of that 8 ball, but now they've got to tighten it up a little bit. They've got to take it to LA where they've struggled, right? And so they got to come at least get 1 win, if not close this series out there.
But you also know that they're in there right now. They're in that clubhouse and they're looking around. They're like, we just got away with 2 games that we probably shouldn't have won, and we're up 2-0 against the Dodgers. So there's a great feeling in that clubhouse and out here.
Well, hopefully that great feeling continues.
Peter's fired up, by the way.
With Charlie Morton. 2 appearances against the Dodgers in postseason play, 10 1/3 innings, 2 earned runs, 5 hits, 11 strikeouts. The Braves have their rotation set up exactly how they want. They're going to face Walker Buehler. They're going to be 55,000 plus screaming at Dodger Stadium Tuesday. But you know, that will not intimidate Eddie Rosario and Ozzie Albies. Let's hear from them.
Eddie, you talked about how you had never gotten to this round. What does this mean to have this moment at this stage of the postseason?
Esto es grande para mí, de verdad. Esto es importante para mi carrera, importante para el equipo, y creo que todos tenemos un sueño de llegar a la World Series y poder ganar, y yo creo que el mío es grande y tengo muchas ganas de llegar.
It's huge. It's very important for me. It's unbelievable for the team. I think this is something that, we all have that dream, that desire to get to the World Series, and for me it's especially large, and I think that's just what we're going for.
Next question. They bring in Kenley there to face you. What are you thinking when you go up there? Are you going to be aggressive in first pitch? If it's hittable, you're going to go for it? Or what's your mindset there?
Hey, I feel great today. When I feel great, I go aggressive all the time. I know I faced him yesterday, take me out, but I don't want to try too much today. Yesterday I tried to hit a homer, and today I want to try hitting base hit.
And we'll follow up. What can both of you guys say about Ron Washington at third base? How aggressive is he, and do you guys like that he is so aggressive?
Oh, that's huge. We love the aggressiveness, because that's how you're gonna go for scoring runs. If you playing scared, you're never gonna push the guys to score the important runs for the team.
Down here in the middle.
Oh, Ozzie, you guys led 2-0 last year too. Aside from the location, how does this feel different?
It's feeling we have a great team, and we trust each other, and we feed on each other, and so it feels great to have those momentum. Like Eddie came up huge tonight with Riley, and that's what we do.
In the back, Alden.
Hey, Ozzie, when your GM went out and got all those outfielders before the end of July, what kind of tone did that set for this group the rest of the way, and what kind of impact have guys like Eddie and Jock made for this team?
Yeah, we saw it different right away. The team clicks more, and we started playing better ball games, and that's one of the main reasons we're here today.
Right here on the left.
Eddie, ¿te habías sentido en este nivel de juego? Un juego tan cómodo en el plato. Estabas tan cómodo que no utilizaste ni el traductor en la entrevista de la televisión.
Pues me está pidiendo que yo hable inglés, y yo trato, pero hay veces que me da miedo de decir algo indebido o que no lo diga correctamente. Pero pues traté lo más que pude, y no, ya yo he estado creo que yo he tenido grandes momentos en mi carrera. He estado en un clásico mundial, en los primeros juegos de mi wild card, y he tenido éxito. Creo que no me paniqueo, y creo que tengo muchas ganas de lucir bien.
The question was, did you feel so comfortable at the plate this evening that you felt comfortable enough to answer questions in English in the post-game interviews without the translator? And you said yes. That, they keep asking him to do them in English, and so he tried to oblige, and sometimes he doesn't do it just to make sure he doesn't say something incorrect. But as far as being in these moments, he's kind of taken advantage of those opportunities to be given to him, as far as playing in the World Baseball Classic and other big moments, and he just makes sure he doesn't panic in any of these moments.
In the back, Tyler.
Eddie, as one of those 4 outfielders they brought in here. What did you think that the impact would be of collectively of all 4 of you guys, and how much of a lift did you think that you could give to the Braves once you got healthy?
Siendo parte de los jardineros que trajeron, o sea, parte de los cambios con los otros equipos, cuéntanos en tu mente el impacto que tú pensaste que los 4 de ustedes pudieran haber tenido con este equipo.
Creo que una competencia, al principio fue una competencia de que todos tenemos ganas de lucir bien y nos traen para acá para poder producir. Yo me sentí cómodo desde que llegué la primera vez. Los muchachos tenían un buen trabajo y yo tenía que empujar para poder estar en el line-up, y creo que tuve una tremenda final de temporada y pude resolver para el equipo, y nosotros venimos para acá para ayudar al equipo a ganar.
You know, to be honest, it was a competition at first. You know, all 4 of us showed up, and I think we all wanted to get some playing time and be in the lineup. And obviously, the 3 other guys, you know, they were having success on the field. So for me, it was definitely a little bit of a sense of urgency to kind of push the envelope a little bit and try to work my way into the lineup as much as possible. And fortunately, I was able to have some success at the end of the season, and I think I was able to sort of work my way into the starting lineup. And I think then we kind of all, since the beginning, but have the same goal and motive of helping the team in any way that we can.
Straight back, Stephanie.
Eddie, it seemed like there were a few moments for you today where it was decided by like 2 inches. The Turner ball that you caught, did you think that was out?
La bola que Turner le dio, pensaste que la sacó.
Everybody, Alvis tell me he's scared, and then when he see the ball in the hair, but he stay in the field. Stay in the field, good for the team, good for everybody.
And then the one that you hit, the walk-off, did you think, I mean, that was so close to the glove, did you think that was caught?
When I'm hitting good contact, but I see Seager in the middle, I say, oh, but he missed the ball. But he see it, but walk off.
Thanks.
Hey, little Brad?
Ozzy, obviously you came up through the system. You've been here throughout this whole process. And then you get Eddie and these other guys come in, and they've been here about 2.5 months. What can you say about the way that the fans have reacted to them? You could really sense it in the game tonight, but all through this postseason.
Yeah, they came in right after the first half. I mean, for us, it was already that we play against each other. We kind of know each other a little bit. We say hi to each other before games, during the game. But for the fans to cheer them on, like they already been playing here for years, it's awesome. It's great to have that chemistry and the fans bringing all the good energy for us.
Energy was high at Truist Park as the Braves beat the Dodgers 5-4. NLCS tickets are on sale should this series get back to Atlanta for games 6 and 7. Go to Braves.com/postseason. We will put a bow on game 2 and preview game 3 as our postseason edition of Braves Live continues from the Battery Atlanta after this final break. Back-to-back walk-off wins against the Dodgers in games 1 and 2 of this NLCS. Braves head to LA up 2-0 in this best-of-7 series. Before we get to our final thoughts, let's get the final thoughts of our colleague, Kelly Kroll. Kelly?
Well, guys, a couple wild walk-off wins, and the Braves now with a 2-0 series lead over the Dodgers. And it'll be wheels up tomorrow afternoon as they head out west now that the series shifts out to Los Angeles. They'll get a late workout in at Dodger Stadium in preparation for Game 3 on Tuesday, and that is where Charlie Morton will take the ball. I had a chance to catch up with him right before tonight's game and preview what will be his 15th career postseason start. In that entire interview, you're going to want to watch it. It'll be on our Bally Sports app shortly. And Charlie made his last start, of course, a week ago Tuesday against the Brewers, Game 4 of the NLDS. So he'll be working on 2 extra day's rest. And he said he actually thinks that'll benefit him really well at this point in the season because he has made more starts this year than at any point in his career. And then he joked with me, he's also older now than he's ever been in his career because, well, that's how time works. But at no point did he say having extra rest, whether it had been 1 or 2 days, has it ever affected him negatively. He's like, as long as I get up on a mound at some point, I'm okay. And he threw a pin yesterday. So really, Morton just looking forward to this opportunity to set the tone in Los Angeles for Game 3. He said this Dodgers lineup full of a bunch of professional hitters that are used to and are built for October. But he wants to be the guy to give this team a 3-0 series lead. How does that sound, guys?
It sounds great, Kelly. Hopefully that will prove prophetic as both Dave Roberts and Brian Snitker are going to lean on their starting pitchers. The bullpens have been used an awful lot in high leverage situations in the first 2 games in Atlanta. Great matchup. First pitch at 5:08 Eastern time. Shadows will be in play in Los Angeles. Morton for the Braves. Walker Buehler, guys, for Los Angeles.
I'm excited to see this matchup, but I think it actually works out really well for the Braves with Charlie Morton starting in this game. We wanted to see him start Game 1, but it's okay. He's going against Walker Buehler, who's a Cy Young candidate. Last time Buehler was out there, he went 4 1/3, so we'll see what happens next time out. Charlie pitched on short rest last time against the Brewers, was really good, a great effort for him. Peter, I think those extra 2 days of rest is going to bode well for Charlie Morton's success.
So, I just want to talk about something real quick, okay? Well, we said it before that the coaches have been here before, right?
Yeah.
So we're seeing the experience from the coaches as well. That move by Snit today was not something that we would have seen before. I think with a lesson from being up 2-0 last year and losing to these guys and the fashion that we did it, I don't think we're going to see the same mistakes that we saw in those games 3, 4, and 5. The Los Angeles Stadium is a tough stadium to get wins at, so I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but we're up 2-0. We're going to the Dodgers' place. We can beat them there. We've got Charlie on the mound. Things are looking pretty good.
I think there's some question marks with the Dodgers rotation. I mean, there's clearly they had a revolving door in the first game. Scherzer's a little banged up. He said it in the post game, right? And then we've got Morton. We've got Fried probably out in L.A. I mean, the Braves are set up to do what they want to do. They have put a stamp on the first 2 games. They have put themselves in great position to win this series. They just got to go out there, play clean baseball, and they got a great chance in this series.
The pressure's not completely off, but the pressure is well and truly on the Dodgers and not on the Braves right now. It's up to them to change the trajectory of this series. It's up to us to maintain going the same way.
Walker Buehler's been one of the best pitchers early in the season, Peter. He was a guy that was in the lead for Cy Young consideration. He tailed off just a bit, but still a very worthy opponent. Dave Roberts in his post-game press conference tonight said, we're going to lean on Walker Buehler in Game 3, and frankly, they have to. Their pitching staff isn't set up as, shall we say, effectively as the Braves is and appears to be on paper.
Well, especially when you look at the losses that they've had in that starting pitching. Right. They've had to rely very heavily on these 3 guys like we have, but they've also been in much tougher competition for the last 2 weeks. So these guys have been grinding out for a lot longer than we have. I feel like they are going to lean very heavily on him only because they have no other choice. We're set up a little bit better than them. They've got limited pitches from their 2 main guys, but you can't rely on them every single day. As you said, it's going to be a battle of the 2 starting pitchers, which is something that we're going to need to see. We're tanked.
Yeah, and their pitchers have had high leverage situations, and that takes a toll on your arm as a pitcher. I was never a pitcher. I just know it does, right? They've been doing this for longer. They've had to go through the Giants. They had to go through the Cardinals. They've had more leverage in their spots, so they are a little bit more tired. The Braves just seem like they have something going on, but they also feel fresh, right? It seems like their arms are fresh. They seem like they're set up to win this series. It's just their pitching staff is set up to win this series.
And it's something that you can't measure. So that's the other issue, that we can't say this is the reason why we're having success, because we can't measure it. There's no number, there's no stat. It's an adrenaline thing, it's a momentum thing, it's something, and I don't want it to stop. I'll be honest with you.
Well, I think the fact of the matter is Braves lead 2-0, and I think they would tell you to a man they still haven't played their best game in this series yet with L.A., and hopefully Freddie Freeman will get hot. I mean, he hasn't gotten a hit yet in the series, and I know that's something the Dodgers, Gordon, are thinking about too.
It takes one swing for Freddie Freeman to get hot. I mean, I've watched his approach for a long time, and it is one of the best approaches in the big leagues, if not the best approach. It'll take him one BP session to find that thing, and all of a sudden you'll see him whack, 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 and then 3 hits later, we're not talking about his 0 for whatever he just had.
Well, we're talking about what happened in a good way for the Braves. They take a 2-0 series lead over the Dodgers. They walk them off twice here at Truist Park in Atlanta, and we hope for more good success this time in Los Angeles beginning Tuesday night. Braves Live postseason continues here on Valley Sports and, of course, live on the Valley Sports app. Can't get any more exciting than with 2 sellout crowds in Atlanta and 2 walk-off wins. The Braves head west with a 2-0 series lead by virtue of a 5-4 win at Truist Park tonight. For Gordon Beckham, for Peter Moylan, for Nick Green and Kelly Kroll and the rest of our great Valley Sports South crew, Chip Carey, thank you for joining us. Day off tomorrow. We'll see you after the game Tuesday night when the Braves battle the Dodgers at Dodger Stadium in L.A. Good night, everybody.